Yes. What's good, warriors? Out here. It's winter's night. Come in, do a video, get the light on, and we are good to go. So today, what we're to talk about is relationships. Okay, the most sacred love that we came here to experience. Now, a lot of things I'm going to say you may already know, but some things I say and they just start to resonate and start to remember and start to go, oh yeah, we can check back in with ourselves, me included. So all these videos apply to me as well. I said it in the last one, there's a difference between knowing the truth and speaking the truth, but then there's a difference of actually living the truth. Okay, now that's the hard bit. Now, I could speak about a chocolate bar and, I could describe the chocolate bar so eloquently, and I could describe its taste, its texture, everything, but it's not the actual chocolate bar itself. Okay, it's not the experience. So all these videos apply to me as well, so I'm going to check myself as well. We're in this together. So relationships, love and relationships, finding love, like probably one of the most complicated subjects that we can speak about, but we think we've got something in the tank to offer, so let's explore, let's get into this. So first of all, I want to start with what I've learned along my journey is there's a saying, okay, you can pick a flower, if you like the flower and you pick the flower, okay, that is attachment and that is kind of ownership over that flower. But if you love a flower, then you will water that flower and let that flower blossom and bloom every day. Okay, so you're loving it detached. Now, when you're looking for a relationship, now you're seeing the potential in someone else. You're being a mirror to see the potential in someone else, to what they can become and what you can become together. Okay, now you're looking for a companionship, a bond with each other where you can both see the greatest potential in each other and you're committing to each other, but not to hold on to. Okay, this is what I see a lot of relationships these days. People get very possessive, okay, and they want to hold them, they don't want them to do what they want to do, and they want to suffocate them. So this is how relationships don't work. When you are detached, it's not someone's behaviour that makes you happy. You can be happy for someone else from their happiness, okay? So their enjoyment, their fulfillment makes you happy. That's on that low vibration, okay? That is raising each other's vibration. That is understanding each other and letting each other breathe, okay? But I'm going to go into more of this later on. Now, let me take you to the start of creation. So when we come onto this earth, okay, our soul is eternal, okay? So when we first come to this earth, we never died because we were, and we still are, eternal beings. But in the physical, as our consciousnesses fell and the first death has been committed, our bodies wasn't like this. Sorry, I got a message coming through. Our bodies wasn't like this, okay? They wasn't this dense. So if you imagine when we first come on the earth and God wanted to experience and grant us the greatest gift of free will for us to experience ourselves, or him to experience ourselves through us in multiple particles. When we come to the earth, we were just energy. So if you imagine the ebb and flow of energy, you imagine when you see a dancer just dancing so eloquently, or synchronized swimming, okay, or silhouettes dancing, and you see this beautiful energy. We wasn't this dense, we was very light in energy. The molecules weren't so close together and this dense, okay, so the energy was very, very light. Now, as we've got denser and come more into the physical, so we could experience more things, and our organs have developed, we needed food, we needed sustenance, okay. When we first come to the earth, we was self-sustaining energy, but as we've become more physical, we've needed more things to survive, but to experience more things. So there's more beauty in experiencing more things and more fruits upon the earth, okay? Now, we never needed to reproduce because we never died. We had sex, but we never needed to reproduce because we never died. So I know it might seem mad now, but humans would never get pregnant because we never died. We were just experiencing life. But I mean, if you're going to experience life here for thousands and thousands of years, you're going to get pretty bored. So I'm sure there's other places in the universe that you want to go to. So this is how creation has unfolded now. So let's fast forward all the way to this time now. Why is there so many relationships breaking down? But also there's also beautiful relationships. A lot of my friends are in beautiful relationships, and you know, when you see them as a family unit with their children, you know, it's just the most beautiful thing. You know, that's what life is all about, that unity within family and them shared experiences. Now, one of the reasons I feel relationships are breaking down these days is because of the options, the internet, the advertisement industry. Now, I'm going to go into all this now. So if you take it back to 30, 40 years before the internet was around, take my granddad and grandma and granddad's relationship, for example. That is a beautiful relationship. You know, they have the bickers, they have the ups and downs, the storms, you know, but they ride them through, because no relationship's ever perfect, is it? But when they first met, like, I think they met in a bar or a pub or somewhere, you know, but that's what we had to do back in the day, and there was no preconceptions, there was no, let me just look at your profile, let me check you out, let me check who you know, bum, 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 bum. So there's all these barriers that we're putting into place of fear that we had to tick off before we could accept. Okay, so there's so many barriers and so many things in the way these days to stopping relationships. You know, people are thinking the grass is greener. You know, there's so many people online, and there's so many options, and there's people, so many messages going through, and and there's just all this madness. But at the same time, on the flip side, the internet has brought us closer together in some ways. It's given us freedom of speech. It's able for us to contact people around the world, and for us to broaden our friends, you know, broaden our location of friends around the world and keep in contact, so it's put us together in that way. But in another way, it's taken us further apart, because we're always texting, you know, it's losing out of conversation, but we'll go into that a little bit later. So let's take it back to face-to-face connection, to that spark, to when you first meet someone and you're just like, yo, you just blew my world. Yeah, that is the authentic way to meet. Don't get me wrong, you still can meet people on the internet, and then when you meet, you hit it off. Yeah, so there's a flip to it, both sides. But let me take it back to the advertisement industry. So what the advertisement industry does, and there's two ways you can look at this. Some people might not even know this, but for example, let me take a lot of the billboards on all these exploiting sexual ways. They say sex sells, because if the powers that be, which aren't really the powers that be, they're just powers that be because we've decided to give our power away to these people. When we have the power, people have the power. We are feeding these industries with buying the stuff that we buy, the choices that we make. Now, if they reverse that sexual energy and can use it against us and pull us in, okay, then they are getting control of us through the sexual energy. Now, sexual energy is very, very powerful, but we'll go into that later on. But what these advertisement industries do is they play on the subliminal messages on the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is very, very powerful, and it's all to deal with images. Every single day we see thousands and thousands of images every single day, and it's a subconscious mind that takes this all in. Now, if you look at the shape of bottles and a certain way that writing and symbols is used for this advertisement industry, it plays and it goes into our subconscious mind without us knowing. Okay, see how the bottles are shaped like bodies, and you know, there's a certain beer that people want to make themselves look more sexy or more attractive, and there's a certain way to dress, and all these manner of different things. But don't get me wrong, you know, you can have a good time going out doing these things as well, but you just do them in balance. But it's just being conscious to be like, right, what message do I want to give out? Okay, don't get me wrong, everyone likes to look nice, everyone likes to feel good, and everyone likes positive attention. Now, this is where, and now the female energy is rising on this planet, and rightly so. Go for it, all you feminine girls. I'm all up for that. Thrive, you know, fix each other's crowns and raise the energy on this planet for the females, because when that happens, this is where it will start to balance out, okay? Because there was a lot of females now to be heard, for, say, example, Theresa May, where you can see she's being very masculine to be heard, you know, to be leaders. And we don't want them to lose that femininity. Keep that beautiful, authentic, feminine energy in being a leader. Never lose that, okay? So as the feminine energy starts to rise on the planet, take it back to the war. So normally it would be the male that will go out to work, or it's hunter gathering days, bring the bread home, bam, family, looking after family, mum will stay home, look after the kids, look after the house, look after all the jobs at home. Then who doesn't want to come home and have a nice meal on the table after a hard day at work? You know, that's that uni, that's that family. Now, what has happened since the war is the women had to go out to work. So the positive thing that come from this was that the women had to go out to work and make money. So they had to learn these trades and these skills. They had to learn these trades and these skills and go out. They didn't have a choice. Now what has happened is that's raised the feminine energy on the planet, because these days there's a lot of girls that are smashing careers, you know, and the feminine energy is rising back up, you know, and rightly so, and that's inspiring the male energy. So these days both want to go out to work, which is good, you know, which is good. Both of them are having careers, and that's bringing more balance into the home, you know. So one's not just feeding from each other, you know, in that way. But don't get me wrong, it's hard being a mum, hard being at home, hard looking after these kids, hard doing it all day. But then, you know, why not have equality? And this is what is happening now, and this is why the energy is raising on the planet. Now, let me talk about the sexual energy, and why the sexual energy is so important. Now, in my last video, I said if sex wasn't connected, then it wasn't right. By the way, what I mean by that is when you don't fully know that person. And now, I mean, it takes, you know, it might take a while to get to know this person before you can trust them, before you feel that pull to be like, you don't have to jump straight in bed. You know, when you're waiting and you're just like waiting to rip each other's clothes off because it's been that long. And then it finally happens. It's like, boom. It's like that explosion when the sex is connected. It's, whoo. That's the ecstasy, innit? That's the ecstasy. Okay, now, but it goes deeper than the physical. Now, let me talk about sex going deeper than the physical on a energetic level. Now, tantric is ancient methods of sex from the Egyptian times all the way back. Now, there's different ways that you can do this. To do this, you have to do this with someone that you really trust, because you're opening up your energy field. Okay, so there's one way you can do it. You can sit back to back. Yeah, so you can sit, boom, with your backs back to back with each other. Okay, you can cross your legs or do whatever, get nice and comfortable, and you sit back to back. Now, then, as one breathes in, the other breathes out. So as you're doing that, the energy around you starts to merge, and your chakras, you're feeling go bump, 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 pop, and all your chakras start to merge. Okay, then that kundalini energy starts to come up the spine. Now, you can do this on a friendly level, or if you want to do this with someone that you really trust, you know, or you can do this on a more intimate level, so you can sit facing each other. Now you can sit with your legs crossed, facing each other, and you can blow that prana energy, and the other person will receive that, and they'll inhale that. So you're inhaling and blowing each other's energy in, and again, all your chakras will start to pop, 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 pop. It's the sickest thing. It's unbelievable. So when they start to merge, and you're trusting that person with your energy, you become one energy field. And then what you have to do now, you have to look at each other in each other's eyes, because the eyes are the windows of the soul, and it has your universal journey, wherever you've been around this universe, past lives. Okay, so the souls and the windows are through here. So when you sit and look in each other's eyes and you're breathing, then I swear the energy will just change. Okay, this physical realm will change, and you will see their natural state of being in energy. Like I was talking all the way back into creation, sorry, just had my tea. Like I was saying, all the way back into creation, you see their natural state, their natural form. Okay, but when you're looking at each other's eyes, you have to let go of any fears of laughing, of giggling. Don't get me wrong, it's a joyful thing and it's an intimate thing, but you need to let go and fully trust and surrender to that person, and just watch the magic happen. And you can get even more intimate with this. You can put your legs over each other, so you're hooked in this far away from each other. You can have your lips like literally that far away from each other, and you can breathe each other's energy in and out, okay? And you'll just feel the kundalini rise up your spine. And you can have orgasms for up to 40 minutes when you practice this with someone and you get deep into this. You might not do it straight away, but as you get deeper and deeper into each other's souls and you start to trust each other more on this intimate level, watch this stuff will blow your mind. And this is what we are capable of as a human race, as infinite beings. Now, let's just say, right, we all have flaws and we all have insecurities. That's how we came here, to have this human experience, to be vulnerable, okay? Now, once you accept your flaws and each other's flaws, no one can use them against you. Once you accept your flaws, and when no one not perfect, then no one can use these flaws against you. And this is where the empowerment comes, because you empower each other, you grow with each other, okay? Now, anyone that says they totally got their self together and totally got their life together, they've got everything down to a T, is lying. Because let's just have it outright. We come here to be open, to be vulnerable, to experience life, and every single person out here is just winging it. We're all winging it, but some are just winging it better than others, or some are making it look better from the outside than others, but let's just have it right. We're all winging it. So it's okay to have insecurities, it's okay to have flaws, okay, we're going to get through. When you get into a relationship, it's not about trying to be perfect, trying to be strong. It's about being real to your emotions all the time. Yeah. Now, honesty is the key. When you can be honest 100% of the time, this is where the magic is. Because when there is always honesty, honesty eliminates fear. So even if you're with someone and they're going on a lot of business trips, or they're going away, or they like to party, or whatever they like to do, okay, and they're away from you because you don't own them, it's not that ownership, you want them to be happy and thrive, and you want them to be successful. But when there is honesty, there is no fear. So just like, yeah, man, sweet, go do what you need to do, become the greatest version of you, I'll become the greatest version of me. Then when we get our time together, that's our time that we have that's intimate. So honesty is the key about everything, okay? Because once the honesty is broken, then it takes a long, it's patching up then. So it's patching up, so you start the foundations on honest ground, yeah? And always, always, always love yourself before you get into a relationship. Always love yourself first. Don't look to a relationship to complete your life. Don't get me wrong, it completes it in one way, but complete yourself. Two complete people meeting at the right times, at the right place, with the right lives that merge into each other is the one. Don't come with issues and stuff from the past. We'll go into healing from the past a little bit later on, but don't come with these issues or a half-empty cup looking for someone else to fill your cup. When you both come with full cups, okay, this is where the fulfillment comes with each other, okay, because there's no gaps in you, so you're full up, so there's no holes for anything to leak out of. Do you know what I mean? You come in and you're ready, you're like, yeah, let's do this. Or maybe you might not be ready, maybe honesty might be just saying, do you know what? At the minute, I just like to get to know you. See how it goes, and you know, let's just see how it goes and see how it rolls, and just be honest from the beginning. Just lay it out and say, this is kind of what I'm looking for, yeah, because then you've both been honest, you both know where each other stands, and then there's no games. It's just, yeah, man, let's just see what happens. So honesty is always key. Loving yourself first before you get into any relationship is always key. Now, another thing is letting go. Another way of loving yourself into a relationship is letting go of desires, okay, and expectations. Because when you've got desires and wants and needs, and I need these things, and you become very possessive, and you start to set yourself up in your mind for, I wanted it to be this way, or you start trying to change the person that they are, and you're like, well, if you was a bit more this, I'd like you more, and you know, no. You have to accept where each other are at. once we let go of desire, this is what the Buddha and how the Buddha shattered his ego, okay? Because when you let go of desires and wants and needs, this is where the peace is. And then you water each other, and you give each other soil, and you give each other sunlight, and you slowly let grow bit by bit, like the house, a brick house, brick by brick by brick, and you build this beautiful divine creation together, your empire, okay? Now, another thing is accepting the light and the dark within each other. Yeah? Accepting the light and the dark. It's going to be a long video, this, so I hope you've got a cup of tea at hand because we're going in. Accepting the light and dark at hand. Now, what it is, it's accepting the light and dark, because the creation was always built with two poles, okay, and we're in the middle. Say that's dark and that's light. We're in the middle. Sometimes in a full day, you know, you can have a bit of road rage and you're like, or you know, you can be 1 minute, you can just be like a total just really kind and just be there for someone that needs them, and just be the person or that hug or that shoulder that they needed at that time. Now, accepting the light and the dark. Some people think it's... I had a client the other day, and she asked me how to stop any darkness coming in her life. Now, the light and the dark works simultaneously, okay? So sometimes it's not just totally shining out and trying to be a goody two-shoes all the time, because that's just boring, okay? Sometimes what it is getting that equal balance between each other, of that light and the dark, in equilibrium, okay, to work together like that, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. So when you get your relationship like that, it's all that little bit of darkness, that little bit of mischief, that little bit of spice, that little bit of, you know, keeping each other on the toes to a certain extent, but not playing games. Yeah, so that little bit of darkness keeps the relationship spicy. I seen a thing on Kevin Hart. This just popped to mind the other day, where he was talking about lads having sex, and then the girl that is having sex, before he's moving into the position, when you've had sex so many times with someone, that she's already moving in the position, like getting over and moving to the side and doing this. She's like, yeah, same dumb move since '69. You know, it's like you've got to say, how can I put this in perspective? Say you're playing a computer game, okay? Say relationship is a computer game, so you're playing this computer game. Now, if it's too easy and someone's too nice, then it's like you're playing a computer game. You're just like, oh, this is getting boring now. So you're just like, yeah, complete that game. It's all right. But then you get a game and it's too hard, and you're getting too stressed over it. And you're like, oh, I can't play this. You throw it away. But when you get a game where that light and that dark is in the middle, that equilibrium, okay, and it's just challenging enough, and you're like, yeah, boom, 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 yeah, do, on to the next level. You're like, yeah, man. And so it's challenging you enough to get you into that flow state. Okay, have you ever been in a conversation or done something with someone and the time just gone poof? You're like, whoa, look at the time, where's it gone? That's when you get into that flow state, that middle ground, okay? Now, another thing is when you get into relationships and getting to know someone is learning from each other, okay? Always thinking, you know, you can learn from each other, and, you know, opposites can attract, because your lives are so different that when you merge together, you're just like, wow, I find that really interesting. What's that about? They're like, oh yeah, but I did it this way. No, I thought you did it this way, and boom, 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 boom. And, you know, you're having banter. Don't get me wrong, like, you could have, like, couples that just take the mick out of each other all the time. They've got that light-hearted banter. Someone's got some sort of job, or someone's got a different job, and they're like taking the mick out of each other's jobs when they get home, and they just have that light-hearted banter, you know. So opposites can attract, but at the same time, sometimes when you're really similar, it can attract as well, because you like to do a lot of things together. Sometimes you might spend not as much time with each other, and you might spend time away from each other with friends, doing other things, but then that time you get is like, boom, that's your time. Now, let me speak about twin flames, okay? So there's a lot about twin flames, so I'm going to speak from my perspective about twin flames. So there's only one soul that we're all from. Okay, there's only one soul that we're all from. We're all having a unique individual experience of the one representing the one kingdom. Yeah? Now, A twin flame to me is someone that you meet in your life and you've met each other at exactly the right time that you was meant to. Okay, now you could meet someone and it just wasn't the right time. So you really like each other. There's that spark there, but your life just don't fit. Do you know what I mean? They're just thinking, oh, why didn't I meet him 2 years later, or another year, or 10 years later, or whatever it is. Okay, but a twin flame to me is when you meet and your life just merge into each other and it just fits like a jigsaw. Yeah. And there is nothing more beautiful than when you start to fall in love. And everyone that comes to this earth deserves to fall in love. And there's someone out there for everyone. Now, the way that I can describe it is, if you're going to meet someone, say you're going to going to town, to the cinema, to meetings for something to eat or something like that. And when you start to travel there and get to this place to meet or to go on this date, things start cropping up. So you don't get there, so things crop up and you're waiting to get there, you want it, you do, but it just doesn't happen, okay? So this is where it goes into acceptance and just knowing and flowing with the universe that it wasn't meant to be, and you take the lessons and you send each other love from afar, and there's no resentment, no hard feelings, and you can still be friends. Yeah, I don't understand when people break up and they never, and they start all this animosity and this hate. And how can you? Do you know what? I can understand actually, because you know it can be painful, and for one of them it might be too painful for you never know what happens there. This is why the subject is just so, because every person is different. But I have always been respectful, always been always just kept on a nice level and still speaking, always let on when I'm out, because that's just the kind of person I am. I don't like any bad vibes. So another thing would be being real in a relationship is more important than being positive, because being positive is just masking the pain, masking problems, masking really what you want to say, masking things because you don't want an argument. But when you're being truthful and real about your feelings and you're having that self-worth to speak up, that is going to stop any explosions later on down the line through holding things in. So being real is always more important than being positive. Don't get me wrong, don't meet someone and just start reeling out like loads of stuff about you at the beginning, you know, or all your issues, or because they're just gonna run a mile. Like, obviously drip feed a little bit of you, have that self-worth and that self-love to you know, have a blueprint of how you want this to go. And then always be real, always be truthful, and always be the authentic you, because when you're you and you give your all to someone and you wear your heart on your sleeve, your feelings, and you've been you 100%, then you can never have any regrets. If you hold back and you play games and it doesn't work, then you think, I shouldn't have really done that, I shouldn't have said that, or why didn't I just be me? So always just learn to just be yourself, and if someone don't like you for being you, then it wasn't meant to happen. Rejection is protection, okay, down the line from you getting hurt. So it's okay, keep it moving, be you, always be you, love you 100%. Now, I want to talk about the power of conversations. Now, conversations are the key, the ebb, the flow, when you can just sit, like we're saying before, and get into these mad conversations and just talk all night long, and you can just be you, the real you, opening, and there's no holding back, it's just flowing, okay? Now, don't ever get into the rut of just getting home, getting tired, sticking the telly on, and then just sitting there watching telly, and I go, right, yeah, I'm going to bed now. And you need to keep that effort, keep that spark, you know, always keep that excitement. And, you know, when you're meeting them, it's like you want to be like a little puppy all the time and be keeping that spark and be dead excited, because never lose that. And conversations is the key, because you're keeping in tune with each other about everything, about what's going on and about the feelings. So even phone calls, and I do it with voice messages now. I send voice messages all the time, because I do text, don't get me wrong, but when you send a voice message, it is your full emotion at that time going in, and the tone of your voice and everything is just a little bubble of you just going out and they just pick it up and they're ready. Okay, so yeah, the power of conversation. And also is being grateful. Okay, be very aware and be very transparent with what you're doing, but also be very grateful and know the energy and the time that people are putting into things. So if someone, when you're dating or with someone, or see other little things that they do for you, be very conscious about the things that they're doing and just be so grateful, because there's nothing worse than getting into a relationship when you're giving your all and you're doing things and you're really going to the extent because you want to make that person smile, happy, joy, and their enjoyment makes you enjoyed, makes you fulfilled. There's someone that just doesn't appreciate it, or someone that just keeps expecting it and just keeps taking and taking and taking. It's a give and take, it's a give and take, a give and take. Now, for example, when you get into a relationship, you might say, right, someone says, what are you looking for in a relationship? You're saying, right, I want someone that's going to love me for me. I want someone who's going to be respectful. I want someone who's got good morals. I want someone who can support each other financially. I want someone who's got good banter that gets my banter. I want someone who's going to bring me no fear. You know, some people might be like, well, I want a family, or I want these things, and, you know, I want to live in this place, or whatever you want for yourself. Like, I want all these things from a relationship. So what you need to do now is reverse them around and say to yourself, these are the things that I would like to give to a relationship for me, because then it's the ebb and flow. Okay, it's that, again, that light and dark, it's that balance, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And this is how you create a happy, fulfilled relationship. When you are putting that person first and they are putting you first, how can you ever lose? Yeah. Now, also, another thing that is very important is not being on top of each other so you can't breathe, having your independence, having your own friends, you know, having that time out, having that solitude to think and analyse. And, you know, maybe there's a project that you're working on and, you know, you're saying, right, when I'm working on this project at the minute, so then your partner's like, wow, well, I'm going to support you from afar. I know you're going to be stressed, you're going to be on this, so I'm going to support you from afar. Boom, I want you to do well because I can see your goal, your vision. Boom, you go and do it, and I will support you along the way. Okay, and vice versa. A few months down the line, it might turn around and you might need to support your partner in that other way. Okay, so it's again that ebb and flow, but don't get me wrong, it's never gonna be perfect. You're gonna argue, there's gonna be storms, there's gonna be all these things that creeps up, but these are what bring you together and what make you stronger. Okay, now we're going to never jump into a relationship if you're still healing from the past, because when you're still healing from the past, you've not got to a point of self-love. Okay, so heal yourself, get into these healthy habits, get fulfilled, because when you meet someone, you both need to be on the same level. If someone's got their shit together and you're trying to get your shit together, then it's not going to work. It's not, because it's going to be unbalanced, you know. And one can be giving and giving and giving and just wanting to put a smile on your face, but and the other one's wanting to, but they can't give what they've not got. So if you've got issues and you're healing from a past, we're all healing from the past to a certain extent because no one's perfect. But if there's a frequency here, okay, that you're going to carry, every time we have an experience in our life, it leaves a frequency and a pattern in our body, okay? And if someone is vibrating up here like this, and you're bringing this pattern along and you're trying to make this compatible, okay, it's not going to end or work well. So sometimes the best thing to do is to step back, let it breathe, okay, and then take things from there, but always heal from the past. And sorry, I've got a message coming through. Always heal from the past. Get yourself to a good place and then be open, okay, and then get yourself back out there, meeting people, getting to know people, doing what you need to do. Now, when you get into a relationship and you find the person, then you become a team, an unbreakable bond, a ride or die, ready to take on this world together. Yeah. Now, what I wanted to end this video with is, I'm gonna do a conscious dating workshop about self-love, boys and girls getting together, single, and be like, yeah, I'm coming to find out more about myself, to put myself in these environments, and we're just gonna ask questions in different groups and get to know each other, and have a laugh, let it be fun, enjoyment, and like I said in my previous video, put yourself in these environments where you're gonna grow, meet people, and who knows, you might get in there and think, oh, do you know what? I thought I liked that person at the beginning physically, but then when I started chatting and I started hearing about this person's story, I started getting drawn more to them. So this is going to be all about energy. People say, what's your type? I never have a type. It's all about the energy, because it goes deeper than the physical, okay? So after 6 months, 12 months, then you're starting to explore the depths of each other's souls and their minds. So there's always new things coming up and popping up and blossoming and blooming out, and that's what love's all about, man. So I'll leave it there before it gets too long. Covered a lot of things, hope it can help. We will be releasing a date for this event very, very soon, and I hope to see you all there and wish you all luck for 2020, man. Let's do this. Peace.